Celtics completing the season sweep over the Atlanta Hawks today at TD Garden. I'm Sierra Goodwill. Joined with me is Jimmy Toscano and Joe Sway.
What up?
The Celtics were hot out of the gates. They scored over 40 points in the first quarter for the third time this season against the Hawks, and it was really Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown in the first half that got this thing going.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Celtics and what they did against the Hawks, it wasn't the offense that bothered me. It was more the defense. I mean, granted, this is the Atlanta Hawks. I know it's a day game. I know it's a matinee. But, I mean, giving up 120 against the Hawks? I mean, what's going on, Jimmy? What happened to the defense?
Dude, the Hawks score, man. That's what the Hawks do, though. They like
Trae Young scores.
They like those. Trae Young does score from everywhere.
I don't know about everyone else.
They like those high-scoring games. Neither team, I think, bad defense is contagious when you play the Hawks because they don't play much defense either. And the Celtics, they got into a shooting battle. I wasn't too keen on that to start. I was like, you know what? I don't know if that's really their style. But they did go out to that major lead. Unfortunately, it's the NBA, though. You never hold on to those leads, and we saw the Hawks come all the way back from 25 down.
Yeah, Kyrie had praise about Trae Young post-game. He's definitely one of his favorite rookies to play against. He made sure to say that. And as you mentioned, they were up 25. The Hawks came back to cut it to 2 points. What do the Celtics need to do differently to keep their leads in these types of games?
Well, I feel like all season long has been the story of defending the guards. You know, you got like the Trae Youngs. You got Jamal Murray's going to come here. You know, we saw what he did out in Denver, and Kyrie Irving brought that up. Of course, he didn't forget that. So he will be putting up his best defensive performance of the year, in my opinion, when you see Jamal Murray. Especially, you remember what happened at the end of that game, right? When he threw the ball into the stands because Jamal Murray was trying to run the score up after they clearly had won the game. So I just think it's a story of defending the backcourts. There's a lot of great backcourts, obviously, throughout the Eastern Conference. The Celtics are going to be facing them throughout the postseason, so they have to be prepared in trying to protect not only or defend, I should say, the backcourt, but also defending the three-point arc. That's also been a problem throughout the course of the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just mentioned how that 25-point comeback, but I like the way the Celtics responded once that happened. You know, they came back down the court, they found Jaylen Brown in the corner for a wide-open three, and they kept, you know, I think it was that shell shock was over. Okay, like it's a tie game now. Let's put the foot back on the pedal and let's win this game type mentality. So that was good to see. The Hawks do have that instant offense, but the Celtics, talent wins out in the NBA when you're clicking, and I think the Celtics are just finally starting to click. So that's what you saw there at the end in that fourth quarter. You obviously had some help from guys like Marcus Smart. Marcus Morris took a little ill-advised three.
Yes,
but
he did.
I don't think that's just some of his performance today. I still think he's come around from his slump that he was in. So this team's playing better. They're going to need to play really well for Denver on Monday because Denver's #2 in the West, and there is that little history that you mentioned. I kind of forgot about that. Kyrie Irving certainly hasn't. So
this Garden Report is brought to you by betonline.ag. You can head to clnsmedia.com/win, enter promo code CLNS50 and earn 50% cash back on your first deposit. And guys, another thing to mention about this game was how balanced of a scoring attack it was for the Celtics. 5 players scored over 15 points. How dangerous can this team be if they can get that sort of contribution from just about everyone?
I mean, very dangerous. You know, when the offense is flowing that way, you see great things. You see the Celtics score almost 130 points. You know, we saw what happened in the West Coast swing when these guys were averaging, 120 throughout that stretch. You saw what Jaylen Brown means to this team. Third straight 20-plus point night for Jaylen. I mean, that's huge coming off the bench, especially because we don't know what's going to happen with Gordon Hayward. I mean, they need that level of focus, and I think that's the biggest reason, at least in my opinion, why you want to see Jaylen Brown remain in the second unit. I love that energy off the bench. I think they need that. I think the starting lineup, especially offensively, they haven't had any problems in terms of putting up points. We saw what happened against the Hawks, 40 points in that first quarter. That's part of the rotation that I don't have a problem with. I don't think that Brad Stevens should tweak. It's just seeing the other guys step up off the bench. Let's see with Terry Rozier what he has, if he's going to be available on Monday, and seeing if Jaylen Brown can sustain this throughout this course, throughout this stretch on both ends, because defensively he's just as important.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it after Thursday's game, how I think at this point you have to keep Jaylen on that reserve role. Not to say he hasn't earned a starting spot.
At least for now.
That's not what it's about. It's not
exactly.
It's not like, oh, he's playing well enough to start. No, he's playing well enough that the second unit's starting to feel
it's good to get that energy and jump off the bench.
There's a good transition from starters to bench. You have to hope that Gordon Hayward's day-to-day with what the team's calling a neck strain. I don't know if there was a concussion protocol involved in that at all, but hopefully that's, hopefully he can play Monday because they're starting to really come together and feel like a good unit there. So I really like what I see out of them. And I just thought, not to harp on it, but Kyrie again, a an assist shy from a triple-double, and just really giving the team what they need. And he said after the game, he had some really funny quotes, actually.
Right.
I mean, I think you were right there for it. What was the actual?
Yeah, well, he's been impressive on the boards as of late, 11 rebounds tonight. And when he was asked about it post-game, he said, well, he wasn't asked to do it much in Cleveland because he was with Tristan Thompson and LeBron James. He said he was with some thirsty guys out in Cleveland fighting for those boards.
Tristan Thompson thirsty? No. Get out of here.
Right. Too soon.
Right. Well, we always knew Kyrie was a scorer, so he can be consistent like that on the boards too.
Chloe's take.
He's hard to stop. That'll do it from TD Garden. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the rest of our content on CLNSmedia.com.